finding any easy seat that feels good for you, allowing our bodies to just relax, soothe, and center. Sitting up nice and straight, meaning our spine is not sunken, nice, elongated spine. With our shoulders relaxed downward away from our ears, this helps us relax and soothe the upper parts of our bodies. Taking a nice, deep, intentional breath in. Exhale. Breathe in deeply. Exhale fully. As we take a moment to notice how the breath feels within our bodies. As we breathe our palms at heart center, coming into a seated prayer. Breathe in. Exhale. Finding our bodies. Finding our minds at peace and comfort. Taking a moment to notice what's going on around us. Being aware without judgment. 4 breaths of silence. Exhaling our palms downward towards the earth, connecting our fingertips to the yoga mat as we are centering in with our environment. Keeping that back straight, that pelvic bone is tilted forward. Eyes are still gazed down, shoulders relaxed away from the ears. 2 breaths. As we flow into a spinal twist, right side, we're going to breathe this right hand behind our backs, connecting our left hand to our right knee, slightly gazing over that right shoulder, soothing and relaxing that spinal cord. Gaze any eyes down if that feels good. 3 breaths. Two breaths. Exhale into center. As we spinal twist opposite side, breathing that left hand behind our backs, connecting that right hand to that left knee. As we gaze over that left shoulder, decompressing that spine and our spinal twist. Optioning to gaze the eyes down or closing the eyes. 3 breaths. Two breaths. Exhaling back to center, placing our palms on our laps. As we breathe our feet in a bowed position, coming into a diamond or a butterfly. This here is a hip opener. And the diamond, our feet are further away from the body. And the butterfly, our feet are closer to the body. The butterfly is a little bit deeper of a hip flexor. So doing what feels best for you as we slightly hinge at the hips, leaning forward. Noticing that when we hinge forward, you feel it a little deeper in our inner thigh. We can option to allow our shoulders to melt forward, allowing our head to drop down closer towards our feet. Noticing how that feels in those inner thighs and also in that lumbar spine, that lower back, as we hinge a little deeper. As we take a nice breath, exhale, gaze in the eyes down. 4 breaths. Two breaths. Exhaling up, coming back to that diamond or that butterfly. As we breathe our legs together, we're going to straighten our legs, coming into a staff pose. Our legs are parallel side by side. Our toes are pointing up towards the heavens or maybe downward towards the earth. Whatever feels best for you. We're keeping our spines nice and elongated. Our pelvic bone is tilted forward, allowing that pelvic bone, that heart chakra and chest to lift up, creating that nice elongated spine. Being mindful to keep those shoulders downward away from the ears as we breathe our palms above our heads, coming into that salute. Gazing up at the heavens. Exhale, palms come heart center, coming into that prayer. As we slightly hinge at the hips, coming into a seated half forward fold. And noticing that stretch behind the legs and the hamstrings as we hinge forward. And if we want to come deeper in that stretch, we can come into a seated complete forward fold, allowing our torso and head to come closer to our thighs and knees. Breathing our hands down to our ankles or our feet. Feeling that stretch. Gaze in the eyes down. Nice, subtle breaths. Feeling those shoulder blades melt forward. 4 more breaths. Two breaths. Exhaling up, coming back into that staff pose. Just taking the moment to check in with our body, noticing how we feel. As we find our bodies, we're going to flow into a boat pose. We're going to take those feet off the earth. We can straighten our legs up in the air, or we can slightly bend our knees. We also can cross our feet at our ankles. Whatever feels best for you here in your boat pose, we are balancing and we are building strength. We are gaze forward, keeping that back nice and elongated. Feeling the core and the oblique muscles working here. 4 more breaths. 2 breaths. We're going to hold this pose and we're going to breathe our palms from side to side. Maybe bringing our hands in a fist and feeling our obliques engaging a little more here. Keeping the core muscles nice and tight. Going as fast or as slow as you choose. 4 more breaths. 2 breaths. Finding our pause at center, we're going to breathe our knees closer to our body, connecting our hands to our feet, straightening that back. Noticing how this feels here. Just playing with our feet and our hands. Maybe lifting our feet up and down. Noticing how that feels here. Then we're going to find our pause here. Now we're going to extend that left leg out to the side. This here is a boat pose variation. And feeling that stretch in your left hamstring. We're going to hold this as we are balancing. 3 breaths. 2 breaths. Exhale and breathe in that leg in. As we extend that opposite leg out to the side. Feeling that stretch in the hamstrings. Heart chakra's lifted, chin is up. 3 breaths. 2 breaths. Exhaling that leg back in. Playing with our feet in our hand, keeping the core muscles nice and tight, backs are straight. As we find that pause, we're going to extend that left leg back out to the side, optioning to slightly bend the knee if needed. And we're going to extend that right leg out to the side, optioning to bend the knees if needed. And we're feeling that stretch here in our boat pose variation. Also call this bear pose with the feet and the bear's hands. This is a balancing, lengthening pose. Heart chakras lifted, chin is up as we are gazed forward. 4 more breaths. Two breaths. Coming nice and wide-legged, breathing those legs slightly apart, a little more. 2 more breaths. Exhaling the legs back in, crossing our feet at our ankles, coming back into a seated pose. Easy seat, backs are straight, heart chakras lifted, chin is up. Taking a nice, deep, intentional breath in. Exhale. We're going to do a couple of circular rotations here. We are working on the lumbar spine. We can come into a diamond pose if that feels good in your circular rotations, but I'm going to choose to be in a easy seat. And we're going to slightly hinge forward. We're going to roll the torso, feeling this in your hips, in your obliques, in your core, and your lower spine. As we rotate the body, going as fast or as slow as we choose. Maybe we can slightly gaze the eyes down or close the eyes as we feel the movements. As we are moving from 2024 to 2025 with ease. Despite the resistance, despite the anxieties, despite the hiccups we may have endured in 2024, we are still flowing with ease. We are taking every day, every trial, every tribulation, every happiness, every joy, and every pleasure day by day. As we find our pause at center, we're going to rotate in the opposite direction. Just noticing how that feels. Being mindful. Working on a spinal health. Core muscles are nice and tight. Backs are straight. We are flowing with ease. Flowing for relaxation. Flowing for comfort. We're going to find our pause at center, and we're going to slightly just place our palms flat on the earth. Maybe our forearms comes onto the earth. And we're going to breathe our palms and heart, breathe our palms together and pray our hands, and just let them relax on the earth. Allowing those shoulders to melt forward. Allowing the head, the forehead, to drop downward, closer to the earth. Maybe our chin is touching our clavicle, our chest. Maybe. With our eyes gazed down or closed, we are taking this time to go inward. We are focusing on self. In this pose, we are regulating ourselves. We are relaxing our heart rate. We are relaxing our anxieties. We are relaxing our joys and our pleasures, just bringing it inwards and not getting too emotional, enduring the moment. We are learning how to self-control and self-soothe. It's taking a moment. Feeling your heartbeat. Feeling your body relax. Take some more breaths. Four breaths. 2 breaths. Taking a nice deep breath in. Exhale. Using your palms to push the torso up away from the earth. We're going to come onto our buttocks. We're going to breathe our knees into our chest, coming into a reclined position, hugging those knees into the chest as we continue to self-soothe and self-regulate. Knees to chest posed. Allowing the back of the head to connect to the earth. Allowing the back blades to connect to the earth. As we allow our knees to flow towards the left, recline spinal twist, feeling that spinal cord twist and soothe. Our right arm comes out to the side. As we are gaze up at the heavens, or we are gaze over our right shoulder. Here in this spinal twist, we're going to take a moment to soothe, working on that spinal health. 5 breaths. 2 more breaths. Exhaling back to center, hugging those knees into the chest. Taking a nice breath. Exhale. As our knees flows towards the right, recline spinal twist opposite side. Breathe in that left arm out to the side. Optioning to gaze up at the heavens or gaze over that left shoulder. Gazing the eyes down or closing the eyes. With our shoulder blades coming closer to the earth. 5 breaths. Two more breaths. Exhaling back to center, hugging those knees into the chest. As we lift our legs up in the air, coming into legs on the wall, or waterfall pose, aka waterfall pose, with the shoulder blades and the back of the head connected to the earth. And allow our legs to flow to the side, wide-legged, feeling that stretch here in the inner thighs. We can option to breathe our legs closer to our torso and connect our hands to the lower parts of our legs or to our feet or ankles. We are feeling a stretch. We are lengthening the body here. 4 more breaths. Two more breaths. Exhaling our legs back inward, legs on the wall. We're going to breathe this right leg towards our torso, connecting our hands to our right ankle or feet. And we're going to allow that left leg to come closer to the earth. We are in that reclined hand to toe. Feeling this stretch behind the legs and the hamstrings. We are lengthening. We are working the lower parts of that body. Two more breaths. Feeling that stretch. Exhaling, hugging knees into chest. Coming back up to legs on the wall, aka waterfall pose. We're going to connect our left hand to our left ankle or foot as our right leg comes downward towards the earth, parallel with the earth. Recline, hand to toe, opposite sides. Feeling that stretch and that lengthening behind the thigh. Optioning to slightly bend the knee if needed. Taking a nice breath. Exhale, hugging the knees into the chest. Crossing our feet at our ankles. We're going to work the obliques and our core muscle by lifting our bodies up, feeling that tummy crunch. Lifting that body up, we're going to hold it. Let's hold it for a couple moments and feeling that core get nice and tight. Feeling that back, hold the body up. We are gaze forward. Now we can play around and do a couple of bicycles if we want. In this pose, we are working the core muscles here today. Yes, we are. 4 more breaths, bicycles, or just staying still. 3 more breaths. 2. We're going to find that pause. We're going to cross our feet at our ankles, or we're going to come into a cow face legs. Crossing one foot over the opposite. Cow face legs. Bodies are nice and straight. Spinal cords elongated, never sinking downward. Always being strong and tall and firm. Always keeping that heart chakra lifted. Chest up, chin up. Always. Shoulders relaxed downward away from our ears. We are kings, we are queens. Always standing tall and firm, knowing who we are. Heart chakras lifted, chin is up, backs are nice and elongated, creating a nice stance, a nice tall posture for ourselves. As we take a nice deep breath in, exhale. Connecting our hands to our feet, if we're in our cow face legs, that is. We're going to squeeze our feet. We're going to squeeze our toes. We're going to squeeze any parts of our feet that we feel is needed for our feet if we're able to walk, carries us everywhere we go, showing our feet, the lower extremities, a little love as we gaze the eyes down, breathing inward. Exhale through the mouth. 4 breaths of silence. Exhale, breathing the palms of your heart center, coming into that seated prayer. Eyes are gazed down or closed. Taking a moment to notice how we feel within, right here, right now, in our present moment, without judgment, simply being aware. Always being mindful to be kind and loving to oneself. Showing ourselves the same love and empathy we may show to others. Giving ourselves a break and not being too harsh on ourselves. Love and kindness for ourselves. As we journey out of 2024 and move into 2025, may we always be mindful to self-reflect as our days, as our weeks, as our hours go on. Just being mindful, maybe noticing what we're experiencing, noticing every day, every moment, living in every day, living in every moment, being present in the day and the time that we are in. Looking forward to the future, but also being happy with where we are as we work on where we are going. Love and kindness, patience and awareness is key. I would like to thank you all for allowing me to practice self-care with you here today, for it truly, truly is a blessing. The light in me sees, appreciates, and respects the light in you all. Namaste.